Hi everyone, welcome back to the programming news video, and in this video I'm going to share you some points on how we can write the good code and how we can write the clean code. So these points are applicable for every programming language, every framework or library, because these are very basic and fundamental points. Uh, so before going to start with this video, I'm just going to share you a very famous quote of the Kent Beck programmer, and he's also a very uh, great programmer actually, and I am actually inspired with them. So he once a time he told that I'm not a great programmer. I'm actually only a good programmer with the great programming habits. That simply means if we are an average programmer and we are just using the good habits of with the to write the clean code and the good code, then we are simply a great programmer. All right, so let's start with some points for how we can write the good code. And first point is the peer review for the code. So sometimes we are not able to find out the mistakes in our code, but some other guy can find out these mistakes. So in a project we must have to find a guy who can review our code, and we can review the code for him or her. All right, so maybe this guy have some more good logic which we already applied on our code, and he can help us to write some short logic and good logic code also. So this is another thing for the peer review. And the second thing is we always have to we always have to take the help from the masters. That means when you're just starting with the a project, then you must have to take the help from the architect or your senior programmer or the team lead to start with the code and making a architecture of the programmer of the programming language. And if you are find that they are not helpful or they are not available, then you can do some things on the googles, and if you are find some good and best practice stuff, then you can apply this simply on your code also. And the next thing is that when you're just starting with any new framework or new programming language, then you should not only directly jump on your project. Then first of all you must have to make a POC on that, and this POC will actually help you a lot when you're just going to jump on your code. Then you are already aware that how we can handle the situations and how we can make a good structure of the uh, your project, and how you have to use the functions and how you have to use the services and all right. So and the next thing is, before going to start with your project, you must have to aware with your all requirements of your projects. Sometimes what actually happens, you are only aware with a part of your requirements, and you just make an architecture based on that program that requirements. But when project your got actually mature, you will find that time that your structure is not good for this kind of requirement, and you have to change the project structure at that time, and it will take the lots of time, lots of effort, and this is also actually bad thing. All right, so before going to start with your project structure, you must have to aware with your all requirements, and you can talk with your client that please tell me the all requirements and another thing, so that you can be aware with the every difficulty of the project even. All right, and after that descriptive naming. Actually this is a very common thing, and this is actually tell that how is your programming, uh, because every programmer can write a great logic. Not every programmer, but most of the programmer can write the great logic, and they do the difficult task, but they miss the small things like the naming convention, your formats and coding style and these kind of things. So these kind of things must be on a first priority. Then that you must have to put your descriptive name for the functions, classes and the variables. You never need to put the variable name like a b c x y z and test, demo. Sometimes programmers are think that once your code is run or your logic is completed, then you refactor your code. But this is not happened actually most of the cases, because of the timelines or the deadlines of your projects. You are not able to refactor your code, all right? And when someone else see this code, they will think that this is actually not good, and this is, they are using the best practice. And if a client is technical, then maybe this is a blaster on your team and project, all right? So at the last thing is that when you just pushing your code on the server or for the testing or the UAT, then you must have to refactor your code once, and you have to look out your code from point 1 to point end, all right? Because in this a very small look, it will take around 20 to 30 minutes for a page, and you will find all kind of issues like the naming issues, format issues, and uh, reusing the code reusing issues. You will find all kind of things with some time, and you can easily handle this thing within 1 or 2 hours, or at least you are aware with these things, and when you just get the free time, you can clean up these things, all right? And we never have to use the consoles and the alerts and printing the things on the screen directly, like test, hi, hello, I'm here, like this. You have to remove them when you just put your code on the server, right? And one more, actually this is my suggestions: when you're just making the POC or you're starting the code, then you must have to use any version controlling system, like you have to use the SVN or you have to use the Git, so that you can maintain your code with the branching. And if you just lost the code with some time, then you can get your code in the previous commits and another branch also, and you just set up a very specific thing for testing, for UAT, for master, for development, and every programmer also, all right? So these are my points to write a good programming code. And if you think that you must have to add some more point, then you can comment in my video. And if you think that I just missed something, or I just I'm wrong somewhere, then you can also make a comment on that. So I will appreciate your effort, and please like this video, subscribe my channel, and if this is helpful, then you can share this video on the another guys also. So thanks for watching this video.